Made or is this like triple XL?
You're making fun of me.
Uh,
I'm not giving you any response on that.
I am making fun of you, not in a derogative way. It's more like a confirmation of my thinking. Like, did you went to the shop and said, "Yeah, I like that jacket, but can you make it bigger?" And the shop was saying, "Why?" And you said, "I like supersized clothes." And they said, "Oh yeah, we had just 3 girls before you that also asked this question." So yeah, why not? Isn't it?
I bought it from Taobao.
Like so, and they had like S. Okay, I'm not gonna go for that. M
3XL.
M sounds like okay, it could be L, and then wow, yes, maximum size, right? 3XL.
3XL.
It's Chinese, like what, made in China or what? Okay.
No question about it.
How much did you pay for it?
Not much. Reasonable price.
Well, not much is really like depending on people's perspective, right? It could
Bullshit answer.
bullshit answer. On my part or on your part? On your part.
Both parts.
But did you say that you get the value for the money that you were looking for? I mean,
I'm recording.
I know you're recording. That's why I'm talking like this. The question is, it's like I'm looking for your shoulders and they are nowhere to be found. They're like here. So
They worth every penny.
what does this jacket do to you when you wear it?
Boost my confidence.
Because it makes you bigger than you are.
Makes my face look smaller.
Okay, all right. But why do you need your face to look smaller than it is?
I want to look more European.
So you're saying our small, like European are small faced
Correct.
compared to Chinese? Okay.
Absolutely, we have giant heads.
You have giant heads. Okay, I might not have really understood that ratio before when we were having a dinner before. Is that genetic? Is that a
It is
proven
genetic.
fact?
It's a proven fact.
Really?
And a perspective.
Where do you literally? Where do you get that stuff from?
Very crooked. Aesthetic view.
So there is this theory of people coming out of Africa. So the people came out of Africa and they migrated to Europe, and then eventually they ended up in Asia. Or there's another theory that says there's a dual migration from Africa into Europe and into Asia. So the big question is, why did Asian faces or heads end up larger than the original African heads and then the eventual European heads? So why is that? Is there a theory behind it?
It's a very good question. I do not have the answer.
You don't have
yet.
the answer yet, so that is a question that we want to table. Then.
Correct.
Okay, interesting. So now we know why your jacket is like.
Exactly.
We could actually go home together in this jacket, and people would think, "Oh, look, a person with 2 heads, and it's a female and a male at the same time."
To compensate my big head.
But why would you want to compensate your big head, though? All right. Since we are recording a podcast, I think you were more focused on asking me questions and asking me questions and looking for my answers. But now I'm on the questioning chair.
I forgot
Should we
about
switch
my
over?
question.
Okay, no worries about it. This is a trial run, and
It went on so well.
of course, because we are mainly talking naturally, right?
Yes. That's exactly the effect I'm looking for.
Fantastic.
Maybe except for my American sound accents.
Yeah, why?
Maybe
Why?
so
Where
weird
does
for
it
you.
come from? I mean,
YouTube.
So tell me a little. YouTube. Okay, YouTube. So you watch YouTube series or movies, or what do you do?
All the time.
Like what?
YouTube podcasts. Yeah.
So American podcast. So what attracts you to American podcasts?
Learning English.
Learning
improving my
English. That was
yeah.
your original intent. So
Yes.
when you ever logged onto YouTube the first time, your intent was, I want to learn the language. Is it?
Exactly.
And how did you pick the content then?
I just type in whatever I'm most interested in.
Okay, so you do search.
Like history, political stuff.
That's very interesting because
How the Western media is regarding the Chinese political landscapes.
like when did that start? When did you begin with that?
During my university study, I would say.
Okay, that's not that long ago, being 21 years old as you are, you are basically in the middle of it right now, but in years, I mean, in the years on the calendar, when was that? 2021?
I would say 26.
You were
least.
26, so
Yeah.
that is also, that's about 5 years from now, basically. Okay, got it.
7 years from now, I would say.
And how did you get?
This year's 2023.
I mean, seriously, this is an interesting proposition because I went to deliberately only order. I would call myself a pioneer. 好吧，我喝完就好了，好吗？ We're gonna cut this out, I guess. We keep it in. What was my question? My question was, so when I was a teenager, I became also fascinated by the English language, and the proposition of the English language was I would be able to communicate with the world, right? Everything outside, either you learn French or you learn Spanish, but if you want to have the broader picture, most of it is in English. So I started to actually order books in English language from Amazon when Amazon was still like tiny, and I deliberately did that, ordered books. But again, back to you. Why did you? What triggered you to go to YouTube? Did somebody say, "Hey, Milo, you want to learn English? Go to YouTube," or is this something you figured out by yourself in some?
Something I would say figure out by myself.
Okay, like you saw advertising, so you saw like
I used
people
YouTube.
were talking about it.
Yeah, I was using YouTube as a tool to facilitate my work. Like whenever I find a question, I would find the answer on YouTube.
I see.
How you stamp this concrete?
Excuse me? Wait, what? Sorry?
Like my previous job is have everything to do with colored concrete decorative.
Okay, I see.
architecture
So
concrete.
you
I
need
find
to
solutions
on
on YouTube
right.
of how to solve the concrete related problems.
Right. And today you're still like daily consumer. You are a daily consumer of YouTube.
Yeah, steady. I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So well, I was coming back. So I was coming back to myself. So when I after I ordered books on Amazon, at some point of my my life, I realized that Wikipedia is a great source.
Wikipedia also.
And I literally subscribed to daily news. You can subscribe to daily news on Wikipedia, where it gives you like kind of like a digest of the greatest articles of Wikipedia in a day. And I got so what is the English word for that? Infatuated, fascinated by the content, the sheer amount of content that Wikipedia can provide to you. So, for example, it would tell you what happened on the day of your birth, like 1,000 years
Interesting.
ago, or 900 years ago, or
10 years ago, 1 year ago.
Or 10 years ago, right, exactly. And so daily I would go on to Wikipedia, and they would always give like a most read article, or interesting things that might be of interest to you. And I got, but recently I found it's interesting that months ago, perhaps, I thought like, what happened with my Wikipedia reading habit? It disappeared. And I might pick it up again.
Maybe it's just too busy.
Yeah, I was too busy. I was like focused too much on my meaningless other things. Okay, so
that's the first episode.
That's the first episode, and it's like a very.
What time is it?
It's about closing time. This restaurant, are you still recording? Because this restaurant is like
November
23rd in the year of 2023. Shanghai is back in full swing. What a turnaround. Having been kind of banished from the country from January 2020, trying to get my visa reinstated in 2021.
Are you well?
Hmm?
How many years is that? Oh, how many years will be the visa?
Oh, now I'm on a...
10 years?
Yeah, that would wishful thinking. Right now I'm on a 1 year...
Only 1
multiple entry business visa.
Okay.
And this is actually a good point or a good reminder, because on my next trip back to Germany I need to renew my visa because it's gonna expire on somewhere late January, and before I come back to China the next time I need to renew my visa. Yes, I have a kind of a plan to actually get back to my residence permit status with China.
Have some homework to do.
That is indeed what I have to do, because it's not trivial. Most likely I'm gonna, before the expiry, I will go to apply for Z visa. Z visa is the requirement for residence permit. Then I will return to China. Mm-hmm. Turns out I might actually come back to China in January after all, because
you'd better be.
Thank you. It's true. So I will have to be back to China. I will have to prove that I have a residence here. So somehow I need to get a permanent place to arrange to have arranged. And then I have to go to the labor bureau to reapply my work permit, which I had for God knows how long, and then I didn't, and now I have to reinstate it, and then I have to go once again for the umpteenth time do a health check, which is always a hilarious process in Shanghai.
Hilarious.
It is hilarious because you basically go through, I call it a meat factory.
A meat factory.
It's very. It's. That's where China becomes very procedural, very deliberate in terms of bureaucracy. People.
You should be careful.
That's fine. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I think I appreciate that. Sometimes Germany could, with all our bureaucracy, China is more deliberate on these things. So they make a process and then they go through this process meticulously, and it becomes a process where it's just in order to tick boxes, but you do it and then you get the result and there you are done. Whereas in our German system, because we have a feudal, not a feudal, what do you call that? You know, to cut that later because we need to figure out what I'm saying. Federal, that's the word. We have a federal system. So every state in Germany makes their own rules. So you might, if we transport the China health check procedure to a province or a state in Germany, every state would do it differently. So maybe next year you go to Berlin and you have one process, and then the year later you go to Frankfurt, you would have a completely different system. Whereas in China it is meticulously planned, and then we go step by step. Why I'm saying it's hilarious, because the last few times I did it in China, stage 1, blood pressure. Stage 2, eyesight. Like, you need to look at a few funny pictures whether you can recognize the numbers. Maybe you have done eye check before. Step 3, they do ultrasound with your kidneys. And one of the hilarious history of us coming here as a family, when my wife was applying for her visa and residence permit, and they did the health check, they do the ultrasound, and the result was abnormal abdomen. And the fact is that she was pregnant. So according to the Chinese healthcare system, she had an abnormal abdomen because there was a baby inside. So there's some of these hilarious facts about ticking the boxes. Being pregnant is not part of the result that they expect in the health check. She passed the health check, but she has an abnormal abdomen for the rest of her life.
For pregnancy.
For pregnancy, correct. What else? Driving test. So can you operate a machine with a sober mind, and all kinds of hilarious tests. And then finally, all the boxes have been ticked, and the final officer has to check that form that the boxes have been checked, and then he can say, okay, this guy is approved, healthy, fit for service in China. Here, stamp, done.
Very interesting. Very thorough, I would say.
It is thorough, and it is very straightforward, and it's predictable, and it is hilarious in its simplicity. So it's
sort of sense. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I remember that. That is for another podcast, but where we go? What's next?
Right now it's 18 minutes.
18 minutes.
We call it as a close
because
right now
this bar is closing. I mean, it literally is closed. Milo and I are literally alone. There's 100 or 1,000 whiskey bottles waiting for us to open them. I even see some bottles that are open that nobody would care if I just take one. No, we don't do that.
Yeah, the waiter is trying to kick us out.
Yeah, the waiter is kicking us out. So,
shall we call it?
Yeah, we call it quits. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.